Hello everyone. Thank you for joining our virtual North Central College Girls and Women in Sports Day event. My name is Dakotah Poitra. I am a North Central College Athletics Graduate Assistant, and I will be moderating today's panel discussion. Today we celebrate the importance of equal opportunity for girls and women in sports. This February 3rd marks the 35th annual National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Every year, this celebration inspires girls and women to play and be active and to realize their full potential. The confidence, strength, and character gained through sports participation are the very tools girls and women need to become strong leaders in sports and life. National Girls and Women in Sports Day honors the achievements of female athletes, coaches, and leaders. We have created an alumni panel of former North Central College female athletes who are here to share their journeys as former athletes and how they have transitioned skills learned as athletes to the career in life. Megan Gossett is a North Central graduate of 1990. During her time at North Central, she competed in women's track and field, where she was a 12-time NCAA Division III All-American and holds records to this day. She excelled both in indoor and outdoor seasons. Because of her outstanding achievements, Megan was inducted into the North Central Athletics Hall of Fame in 2005. Megan graduated with a degree in accounting and later received a master's degree in communication at Illinois State University. And she had earned a master's in telecommunications management from Keller Graduate School of Management. She also holds a master's certificate in project management from George Washington University. Megan has 25 plus years of career and leadership experience working in programming and project management. She is currently the Senior Manager of Digital Strategy and Solutions at Upsilon. She also sits as an active member of the North Central College Athletic Department's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Sue Kane is a North Central 2002 alum. During her time at North Central, Sue also competed in women's track and field. Sue has an extensive background in athletic achievement. She was the State of Illinois' nominee for the NCAA Women of the Year Award. She's a 7-time NCAA Academic All-American, a 7-time NCAA All-American, coincided Verizon in All-American selection, and an NCAA Division III National Champion. She was inducted into the North Central's Athletics Hall of Fame in 2009. She graduated with a degree in psychology and later received her Master's of Nonprofit Management and Leadership from North Central College. During her 6 years on North Central College administrative staff, Sue has had a tremendous impact on the success and growth of the athletic department. Sue was named North Central College's Assistant Director of Athletics in 2012 and was promoted to the position of Associate Athletic Director and Senior Women Administrator in the fall of 2017. Jackie Errico is a North Central College 2011 women's basketball alum. Jackie made an immediate impact on the team starting as a freshman, all the way through her senior year, where she was first team All-CCIW selection and led the CCIW in scoring during conference season. Jackie graduated from North Central College with a degree in exercise science. She also received her master's in business administration from North Central College, all the while being the women's basketball graduate assistant. Jackie has spent 12 years in the fitness industry as well as experience in business. She is the founder and owner of Jackie Errico Fitness. She launched her own business in August of 2019, so she is a year and 6 months in. Congratulations, Jackie. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to start off by asking each of you to give me a statement on why you thought it was important to participate in our panel today in the celebration of National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
I believe it's important because it's a celebration of women in sports past, present, and future. There's so much going on with our young women today, and this day celebrates who they are, what they're trying to accomplish, and where they're planning to go in the future.
Yeah, and I would definitely add to that in the sense of it's important for us to remember how far we have come, but yet it is always a milestone for me. It is a reminder, it's this nagging feeling of yet how far we have yet to go, right? There's so much yet to accomplish. I take it personally with the work that I do at the college, but also because I have 2 young daughters at home who are athletes, and I want their experience to be better than the experience that I have. So for me, it's this day is an awesome day, and it always reminds me of, yes, like it is amazing how far we have come, but we have so much more work to do, and it makes me hungry, and it makes me excited, and it makes me motivated to come to work every day.
I love that. You just gave me all the vibes and the chills. I mean, even when I was a student athlete, this day was so important to me of just attending the events. And now looking back, it's just right. We need to continue to celebrate these moments for female athletes and continue to bring those people up, through the ranks, and just keep moving forward and making big things happen for us.
Awesome.
So, we brought you here today because you're all former female athletes, former North Central Cardinals, woo woo. And so I wanted to ask you, first, how did you find your way into the sport that you played at North Central? And then what obstacles did you face through being a female athlete?
I found my way to track and field at North Central just way of high school. I ran in high school. I was actually on my way to another school, and a gentleman by the name of Walter Johnson got a hold of me and said, come visit the campus. And so I visited the campus, met Marcy Thurwachter, and just completely fell in love with it. So I changed course and ended up here, and this has been my home ever since.
I played 3 sports growing up. So for me, athletics was always a part of my DNA, but I was fast. And I think that I naturally gravitated towards track and field. Again, tri-sport athlete in high school, but when I had the opportunity to really pick what I wanted to do, it was track and field. And I was lucky. I grew up in a family that was super supportive, right? That I had a mom that was running me from every single, softball game, basketball game, volleyball game, basketball game, you name it, track and field, whatever it may be. She was driving me everywhere. So it really was, it was amazing. But for me, it was just about having opportunity, having access, and falling in love with a particular path that I continued in college.
Yeah, I was always an athlete, and I knew that I was, gonna play college basketball somewhere. And so actually my dad went to North Central College. He played baseball. And so right off the bat, I was like, I'm not going there because I want to do something different. And so I went and looked at other schools and, just keeping a lookout. And as soon as I got to the campus and I met the team and I met the coaches, I knew this was the place that I was going to land. So it was just kind of meant to be, and that's what my parents just kept telling me, was that I would get a feeling and I would feel comfortable. And I was like, all right, this is where I feel comfortable. And so North Central became my home and my love.
Through all of your time as being female athletes, what personally was the biggest challenge for you or obstacle that you faced through being a female athlete?
Truly, North Central was so supportive of everything that we did, whether you were a female athlete or a male athlete. So I don't think I necessarily had any struggles or obstacles related to being a female athlete. Actually, I think being a female athlete actually kind of saved me in a lot of ways, right? It was the thing that kept me focused. It was the thing that kept me disciplined. And it was the thing that kept me planning for my future. So I don't think there was necessarily an obstacle or a struggle in that sense, just by being a female athlete, because North Central was so supportive.
Yeah, I definitely think I was lucky. You and I shared a similar coach, Marcy Thurwachter, and Marcy was a champion for female athletes at North Central, and really fighting, right? She paved the way long before we got there, where, making sure that we had equal access and equal opportunity was just a part of her DNA and her mission to be able to kind of shape and change.
I feel the same way. I don't necessarily think, any true obstacles or struggles, but just opportunities, right? You had to find the balance between, being an athlete and being a student, and then your social life as well. And I think that North Central really provided the perfect opportunity to blend all of those things together. And I'm super thankful for that I was able to play, a college sport, end up being a really good student and then have a social life as well. And I think that was really important, kind of, molded my experience and then, molded my future coming out as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you guys obviously have that shared experience of having the same coach, Marcy. In apparently, which is awesome that she played such an influential role in your life as a student athlete. Are there any other influential people in your lives that have, inspired you throughout your time as a student athlete?
Yeah, I had, people prior to college. My high school coach, Al Lorenz, was a big influence on me. Not only he was my high school coach, one of my high school coaches, but academically as well. And then you have your everyday heroes that you cling on to that are in your life that you kind of go to for guidance and things of that nature. But I think outside of that, once I got to North Central, it was just all of the services and the people that were in place for me, and from a perspective of an athlete, right, that were there for me, that kind of guided me and allowed me to know that, hey, it's going to be okay, whatever it was. I can go through and name a litany of people, friendships I've made and still have to this day. You talk about Coach Grammy and Coach Alcarius and all of those influences, and they were an everyday presence in our lives. And it wasn't just the fact of you're an athlete, you do this. They were intimately involved in our lives. If we were straying, or even if we were cursing in the hall, or, whatever the case may be, or just being, too silly at an inappropriate time, they interjected, and they always had our backs and always put us on the right path and always made sure we were doing right. So it wasn't just a matter of you're here to run, you got to get good grades to stay on the team, and that's all you are. They looked at us as the whole person.
I'll piggyback off of that, particularly having teammates. So when I was a freshman, I was fortunate that a bunch of the seniors on the team who were amazing, national champion, Christina Jones of the world, right? Type seniors who took me right under their wing, right? I was a freshman, they were a senior, and they pretty much just said, hey, we see you, right? We see what you can add to this team, and we're gonna mentor you, and we're gonna bring you along, right? Yeah. And they did an amazing job, and I think that I have been fortunate because my path has been like that, right? I've had amazing, powerful women do that, shoulder tap me to be able to say, I see you, right? And let's get you to where you want to be.
We're surrounded by such amazing people. My last coach that I had for basketball was Michelle Roof, and she's still one of my best friends today.
And I think as a former athlete myself, I think it's really powerful what athletics does, because we all take care of our own, regardless if you're a male coach, you're a female coach,
right.
Whether it's your teammate, your athletes. I feel like everyone cohesively just takes care of each other beyond.
Your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Your family. Yeah.
Beyond, yeah.
Awesome. Well, this was a great conversation. At this time, I do want to give our student athletes a chance to say what National Girls and Women's Sports Day means to them.
National Girls and Women's Sports Day to me means determination, passion, empowerment, strength.
And it is important to me because we learn about the history of women that have paved the way for future girls and women in sports.
I think it inspires girls and women to play the sports that they love and stay active and realize how powerful the women's sports communities can be, especially at an institution like North Central.
It really shows and showcases all the hard work that we put into practice. It really just makes the day that, hey, all my hard work is it's being paid off. People are like, hey, congrats. It really just makes it all worth it.
This is a day to inspire females to be active and realize all the potential and power they truly have. I'm a soccer player, but I love the sport of football, a predominantly male sport that just this year was changed with a female kicker for Vanderbilt University. Times are finally evolving. It doesn't matter whether you dance or kick or throw or run. Every woman has the power and right to compete.
It means it's a reminder of equal opportunity for women in athletics and in every endeavor in life. To be able to be here and be a role model and mentor for the people you see behind me. Some are warming up and some are doing their events right now. But being here as a strong mentor and role model for those women to let them know that they can be excellent at whatever they put their minds to.
It's a day that we can show and celebrate the empowerment that we receive and learn every day from putting our all in our sports.
National Girls and Women's Sports Day is important to me because it recognizes all the milestones that women have made throughout history. This day is especially special because it reminds us to be inspired and keep working our best as female athletes.
I didn't know that this day was celebrated before going into college. After experiencing it, I loved seeing how the NCC women's athletic teams supported one another.
National Girls and Women's in Sports Day means recognition for all the hard work we put in every day as athletes, and hopefully a support system for the next upcoming generation of female athletes.
National Women's in Sports Day means to me that we are able to empower one another with focusing on uplifting each other, communicating with one another, and showing the abilities that we are able to do.
We all get together and celebrate, and this year virtually, to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of women in sport and the impact that we get to have.
Growing up, there was always a stigma around girls in sports. We aren't strong enough, we aren't fast enough, we aren't tough enough. We're girls, we can't possibly play sports. Looking back, I had a hard time finding role models, specifically women in sports. This is why National Girls and Women in Sports Day is important. It gives us an opportunity to put the spotlight on women.
It's respect, empowerment, strength, and confidence. It's an important day to celebrate because we want to recognize the accomplishments that girls and women make in their sports every day.
National Girls Women's in Sports Day is important to me because it's a day where we can all come together and celebrate the accomplishments of us as women, and just celebrate each other and the awesome things that we're doing in our sports.
Women shouldn't be afraid to join a sport and play. I think that women can change the world, and women's sports can truly change the world. We just can't be scared.
Welcome back. Our student athletes had great things to say about what National Girls and Women in Sports Day means to them. But I'd like to continue our conversation with, what skills have you guys learned and lessons learned through your time at North Central?
I think all of my skills that I use today could literally be taken back to my days of, being a college athlete. I always say, first of all, a team. For the rest of your life, you're most likely going to work on a team, whether your family's a team, your job's a team, and it's really your time as, a student athlete to learn, what values you have. And those stem from being on a team. What do you care about? What are you passionate about? Mm-hmm. And so I've found that, all of that base building kind of, came from my time in college and, then continued to lead me through my life.
Love that.
I definitely agree with everything you said. And one thing that for me, that I use to this day is to really have this relentless pursuit of excellence, right? Mm-hmm. That was ingrained into us every single day at practice, every single time you towed the line, every single time you stepped on the runway, right? That relentless pursuit to be excellent at what you do. I bring that, right? I bring that to work. And I'm not afraid, at the end of the day, I'm not afraid to push my coworkers and colleagues to want to be hungry and push us every single day after that pursuit of being excellence. And same thing with my two little girls at home, and they probably think I'm a total lunatic, but I talk about this stuff all the time because I think so very often we settle, right? We settle for being average, or we settle for being mediocre, or we're too afraid to go after a goal or a dream or whatever it may be because it just seems so big. But if you really can approach just using that mindset, I think, right, that there's not a dream that's too big or a goal that's too lofty to be able to achieve, and that's something that I use every single day that I've learned.
Yeah, and just coming straight from what you're saying, you know, focus, discipline, and organization. You know, those are the three things that I took with me and I continue to have in my daily life, and it helps me manage work, it helps me manage home, it helps me manage, you know, environmental things that are out of my control and understand what I can control and what I can't, right? Because whenever we're performing, one of the things before you step on the track or you step on the court or whatever it is, understand what you can control, right? And what you can't. And then once you have that, then you can roll those up. Okay, this is what I need to focus on. I've done these things to discipline myself to be able to do X. Right. And oh, by the way, I've organized myself in a way that allows me to pull it all together so that I can excel.
In doing extensive research on all three of you, whoa, I've done some stalking. You know, you all come from a background working in athletic administration, the fitness industry, you know, corporate America, obviously traditionally very male-dominated industries. In that, you know, what have you had to, you know, face? What challenges? What have you saw?
Being in corporate America and taking that path of project management, most of my career was working with engineers and developers and things of that nature. Again, a very male dominated career path there for those who choose to take that path. And I was always, very early on in my career, the only woman in the room. And so what I've taken with me and what I've learned just through my academic journey, through my athletic journey, is how to manage and how to be the only in the room. And because of that, when I'm sitting in a room full of my male counterparts and they start trying to see, you know, who can be the loudest and who can make their point the most and make a stick and get loud, you know, those who speak louder often get heard. I'm looking at them like, I'm not afraid of you. Bring it on. What do you need me to do? What do you need? How can I remove the obstacles for you? Give me those three things and let me go do my job. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I operate. And so I'm often the only one in the room very early on in my career. Now, not so much. And probably because also I've moved from being in a fully engineering environment into a marketing environment. Although it's a digital marketing and technical environment, there's more of a diverse group of people who have taken different paths in their careers, who male, female, young, old, you know, pretty much a good mix of the people I deal with. So now I'm not often the only female in the room, but probably for the first, I'm probably going to date myself, and it's no big deal because if anybody looks me up, they can see how old I am and when I graduated from North Central. Probably the first, I would say 15 years of my career I was often the only female in the room.
Wow. Yeah. Shared experiences, even working at the wonderful place of North Central where we definitely do have some more female representation, but when you take a look just at the body of the NCAA, and let's look at NCAA Division III, athletic administrators, we're making up a very small percentage, right? You're talking about maybe 20% in there. Then layer on an additional identity that I have, being not only a woman, but a woman of color, 4%, right? Mm-hmm. So it's challenging. Yes. It is a challenging environment to continuously be the one woman at the table. And I had to use, a lot of the different skills, a lot of the different lessons that I've learned as an athlete. I bring that every single day to continue to be able to thrive and to continue to be able to make a difference and create more opportunities for women and women of color within the field of athletic administration. So for me, there are obstacles, definite challenges. But I just continue to try and rely upon, right, all of those different skills. And most importantly, it's about using my voice, right, and using the lens that I bring with my unique identities to be able to make an impact and make a difference.
Dig deep. Dig deep.
Yep.
I mean, I started off my career in the world of strength conditioning, and that is just a very male-dominant world. And so I'll be honest, in the beginning of going into that field and training athletes, like you're training female athletes and you're training male athletes, and it did intimidate me at first. And so I think that intimidation almost caused me to go back and like study harder and learn more and gain more experience, because I felt like I needed to prove myself that I was just as good of a coach as the guy next to me. But at the end of the day, I just had to gain the confidence and run the floor just as anybody else would, whether I was running the floor in front of, a team of football players or, female basketball players. At the end of the day, they're your coach, and, you just have to build that trust regardless either way. And then, moving into the fitness industry and, owning my own business, again, still very male dominant, a lot of, personal trainers out there and things like that. But, I think it just goes back is, I've done the education and, built myself up. And so, yes, we are equal and I'm here. And, I started my own business because I wanted to have a place where females could come and work out and feel confident in their bodies, feel confident in themselves. And that's essentially, why I started my own business in fitness.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So within the amount of time that we have left, just, briefly for our female athletes at North Central, what's, the one thing that you want them to take away from this session?
Your time is so valuable. I would pay my tuition and everything literally all over again to go back and be a student athlete. And so soak up every single moment that you can while you're there, because every lesson, maybe you're looking at things as you might have had a failure, but look at it as an opportunity to have yourself grow and develop, because you are going to take those things and they're going to impact your future. So just soak up the time and make the most of it, because they are some of the best years of your life.
I think I'm going to go back to something that I said earlier, and that is to be relentless in your pursuit of excellence, period. You're going to ruffle some feathers along the way. The journey is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I feel like if you hold that, you hold that as a concept, just like you're relentless when you are in your sport, be relentless in your pursuit of excellence in the classroom. Be relentless in your pursuit of excellence in your career. Just use it, hold it as a mantra.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to something I said earlier as well. The road is not straight. The journey is not a straight one. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have adversity. You have to learn that, understand that, and work through it to continue to gain confidence in yourself, but also know that you are enough, and that because I am enough, I can be what and who I want to be, where I want to be. Whether it's in the room with a bunch of men, whether it's in the room with, executive leaders, whatever the case may be, know that you're enough, and the road is not going to be straight. So you're going to have to make adjustments. And once you understand that, your stress level will be a lot less through life, and you'll be a lot happier.
Yes, I like that.
Sue, Jackie, Megan, thank you all for coming. We appreciate you all for setting an example for what it means to be a fierce female leader in sports and life. Thank you.